Welcome to Subramani. Once in a while, you should look at some of the things which a regulator has done and find out whether it has had any useful impact. So today we will take three laws made by Sebi, and I have no clue what has been the impact of this on how it has helped the mutual fund advisor or the mutual fund user or anybody, the industry in general. So let me pick up the first one. There used to be a upfront commission for selling mutual funds, which was abolished long ago. But along with that, there was one amazingly stupid rule. Sorry to say use this word, but which said that if an advisor, or the third thing I'm going to talk about, the word advisor. But if a person invested in his own mutual fund, which means used his own registration number to invest in mutual funds, he will not get any commission. This was supposedly to discourage the upfront commission being passed back. Right. First of all, I always thought that passing back or not passing back is a investors and the advisors relationship. Right. There is nothing which you can say you should pass back, not pass back, or things like that. But anyway, that apart, that we can have a longish discussion. But that rule which says that if a person has an ARN and has an investment in his own name, he or she cannot get commission on that. That rule has not changed. It suits the mutual fund industry, but then of course these are all the three rules that I'm going to talk to you today about are what I would call Mickey Mouse rules. These rules exist and these rules can easily be circumvented, and that is what happens. But today there is an option. So an advisor can go and invest in a direct option, and therefore there is no question of any commission. Otherwise, what they used to do is to use a friend's ARN number, or use the wife's ARN number or daughter's ARN number. Every house would have 3-4 ARNs. That way they could beat GST, they could beat income tax, and they could beat this Mickey Mouse rules. This is a small rule. Let's ignore it. There is another rule which has been hurting actually the investors, because it says if you are a mutual fund, not more than 5% of your business you can do with one broker. So if I am let's say Axis Mutual Fund, I cannot deal with just. So if I am Axis Mutual Fund, I cannot deal only with Axis Securities. If I am HDFC Mutual Fund, I cannot deal only with HDFC Securities. HDFC Securities can be one of the persons whose services I use, right? So I need 20 others because of the 5% rule. Now you don't want to fall foul of the law, so you say not 20 but 30, so that in case there is an emergency and I have to sell and I can't get through to another broker, I can use. So you will never go to 5% with any broker, you will stay at 4%. So if you stay at 4%, it straight away makes it 25 brokers. Why would you have such an absolute Mickey Mouse rule? Because the brokers lobby went and said if you there will be too much concentration and we small brokers will die. So therefore you have to have this Mickey Mouse rule, and therefore we have this Mickey Mouse rule. Well, it is there. You can't say it should not be there. Well, it is. So it is there. It is still there, and that is what has caused most of the problems in Axis Mutual Fund. Now, suppose I am Axis Mutual Fund and I deal with only HDFC Securities, ICICI Securities, Axis Securities, and some XYZ Securities, the fourth security broker. Right. So it is very easy for me to monitor. I also know that my broker goes through the same rigmarole which I go through. He also has compliance. They also have to have their own due diligence, everything happening. They will not be able to pass back, and most importantly, the person who is soliciting my business is not the beneficiary by allowing me to do some insider trading and things like that. So it is easier for me to monitor a well-run, obviously all of them are registered with SEBI, a well-run brokerage house. So therefore my investors who are mutual fund unit holders are better off when I don't have this Mickey Mouse rule. We still have it. We have suffered. I mean, why did I say Axis Mutual Fund? Because Axis Mutual Fund suffered because of the connivance of their trader with the broker, right? Not the management, but the trader and the broker connived, and they did insider trading, and then the rest is history. So another Mickey Mouse rule. The third Mickey Mouse rule came sometime in 2020. That is one about which I am going to talk to you a little longer. Sometime in 2019 or 2020, my memory is not very clear, Sebi came out with a rule saying that unless you are registered with Sebi as an investment advisor, you cannot call yourself an advisor. So if you are a person who has been last 20 years, let's say you started in 1998, so 22 years you have been helping people invest in mutual funds at a time when people did not know what is a mutual fund, when people thought SIP meant sipping, and people didn't know any of those things. They didn't know what is a debt fund, equity fund, nothing. You went around door to door trying to convince people that they should invest. Many of your investors have benefited a lot. Or maybe all your investors have benefited a lot. All of them swear by you, and you have built your standing. You're not a very highly qualified person. Maybe you're a BCom, or maybe you are qualified. It doesn't really matter, but you are a specialist specializing in investment advice. You also give advice on mutual funds, I mean, bank fixed deposits, PPF, etc. But largely your income depends on the commission, or which should be actually called fees, which you get from the fund houses for the work that you do. Is that amount high, low, should it be paid, should it not be paid, is a completely different debate. So we are not talking about that. Now suddenly Sebi says, no, you're not registered as an advisor, so you can't call yourself an advisor. What else can you call yourself? I don't know whether you can call yourself a consultant, whether you can call yourself a specialist. What happens if you call yourself I'm a financial planning specialist? I help you with your income tax, I help you with how to pay your children's school fees, I help you with your retirement planning, etc. But no, I'm not a mutual fund advisor, because Sebi, my regulator, says I cannot call myself an advisor. Is that fair? I don't know, but let's look at it as a Mickey Mouse rule. Will Sebi ever be able to know who is calling himself an advisor or a distributor? Answer is no. It's only the written communication that is going to matter. Will any of these things come up in an audit? Well, maybe yes, maybe no. And does it really matter? Does it really matter whether a person is called an advisor or a consultant or a distributor? I really don't know, because the word distributor is not understood at all. A grocer is a distributor of food grains and bread and things like that. Is he a distributor? Yes. Does he run a shop? Yes. Does he give you advice on which bread to buy and say, no, don't buy that, that is stale, I'll get you new bread. This is a new brand which has come, so why do you want to try Bonvita? Here is chocolate Horlicks, right? Any of those things. Is that advice? I don't know. Is he like a medical shop guy who is saying, no, I cannot give you this unless you have a prescription, go to a doctor? No, a grocer is not a medical shop, right? Grocer does not need you to be even qualified as a compounder or a pharma guy. A pharma person has to be qualified. So every shop has to have one person named as the B-Pharm there, who is supposed to look at your prescription and say can give, can't give, things like that. So what happens if I call myself a financial advisor and say somebody else is doing the distribution? Form a private limited company which does the distribution and say I am a financial advisor. I am not even under the purview of Sebi, right? Do we need such Mickey Mouse laws? I really don't know. I mean, the far more important things for a regulator to do than say what nomenclature can be used. And this is the only regulator who says you have to say investing is subject to market risk. Many people who don't invest think, oh, there is some market risk, so we should not invest. Is there risk while investing in PPF? Yes, there is. It's called inflation risk. It's also called a risk that the government may decide that you cannot withdraw beyond 20 lakhs. You will be able to withdraw only as 2 lakhs per year. Is the government capable of another such Mickey Mouse rules? Yes, perfectly capable. Is your money very liquid in a PPF? No. I mean, it is liquid after 16 years, but after 16 years, if they say, oh, this is subject to further lock-in of 5 years, you can't do anything except twiddle your thumbs. Will they do it? No. Have they done it in the past? Not with PPF, but with other things, right? So to say from where risk will come, we do not know, but I'm sure risk does not come from nomenclature. And I can tell you, I can pick you 5 or maybe even 10 mutual fund advisors who are perfectly capable of sitting in a conversation with the CEOs of another 5 CEOs and know more about the mutual fund industry than what the CEO would know. Not saying that it is a great achievement or things like that, but sheer fact that they have spent 20 years or 22 years or 25 years in doing this business, and suddenly now there is no nomenclature. Now this to me is very funny, because what you are depends on what your client thinks you are. You are not what the designation you call yourself. I can call myself financial coach, financial doctor, financial blogger, financial writer, whatever. Ultimately, how does my reader or my viewer perceive me? So he can ask me any question and I can choose to answer it. And then the question is, how does he save my phone number in his phone book, right? I did my articles in a place called Sharp and Tannin, very easy to pronounce names, but during lunchtime when the phone rang, the phone would be picked up by one of the peons in the office who would say Saptanen. Ultimately, the name was Saptanen for him, right? And that is the name which he used. I do not know whether the person making the call understood what he said, but Saptanen is what he used to say, but it was Sharp and Tannin. I don't think our partners of Sharp and Tannin said Saptanen, but this peon would say Saptanen, right? So ultimately, the question is, if I call myself let's say a taxation advisor who will also tell you how to plan for your children's weddings and children's education, your own retirement, etc. What am I? Am I a tax advisor, or does he think of me as a financial advisor? Does he think of me as a financial guru? Honestly, it doesn't matter. How I get compensated is important. How much I get as compensation is important. My client being able to understand my compensation is important. The fact that my client and client's wife and client's children listen to me, think of me well, that is more important. It does not matter what is the nomenclature so well, but our regulators, they're pretty obsessed with nomenclature. So I can be a certified financial consultant selling life insurance, but I am not very sure whether I can be a certified financial consultant, because I do not know who is to certify. But the mutual fund industry says, no, you cannot call yourself any of these fancy names, you have to call yourself a distributor. The life insurance industry allows you to be called certified financial advisor, certified financial consultant, and believe me, many insurance advisors also sell mutual funds. So wake up, Sebi. All these Mickey Mouse laws have to make more sense. It's easy to write articles why it should not, etc., but it's not practical. Thank you.